Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video tutorial, I will explain how to delete a particular record from MySQL database in Python Django web tutorials. Now let's check the final output. Let's delete the record 8 Manisha. Click delete. See, here we got an alert message. Are you sure you want to delete? If I click OK, see, the employee ID 8 Manisha has been deleted successfully. Let's open the database table. In the EMP details, Manisha is here. Let's browse the table. And here we got a new output of this table EMP details. There is no employee ID 8, which is Manisha.
If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates.
Before creating a new Django web application to delete a record from the database, first we'll check the table in PHP MyAdmin database, which is MySQL server. The table name is the EMP details, which contains 4 columns. ID is the auto-generate column. The second column is the EMP name, employee, email ID, and salary. And I created this table in this sample DB database. Now let's start the coding part. Before creating a new Django web application, first we'll create a new project for the app. I'm creating a new folder in this local disk D drive. Right click the mouse, click new, select folder, and the folder name is employee delete. Enter. Let's browse this folder. Right now this folder is totally empty. Now let's create a new Django web application in this folder. I'm using Visual Studio Code to create the Django web application. First we'll add the folder name which we have created in the D drive. Open file and open folder. And the folder is the employee delete. Let's select the folder name. And here we got the folder employee delete is added to our Explorer panel. At the right side we got the welcome page. Let's close this welcome page. If you notice, this employee delete folder is right now empty. Let's minimize and maximize. Now let's create a new Django web application in this folder. For that, go to view and select terminal. And here we got the terminal, which is nothing but the command prompt. And notice the path, the command prompt path is the employee delete, which is our folder name. And this folder name contains in the local disk D drive. So to create the Django web application, let's add the Django admin start project. Let's create the project name. I'm adding del rec, which is my application name. Click enter. And the project has been created successfully. If you notice the employee delete folder, there is a application del rec. Let me expand this folder. Notice in this app there is a subfolder called del rec and one manage.py Python file. Let me expand this subfolder also. And notice in the subfolder there is some default Python files. All these files and folders has been created automatically when I create this project del rec. Now I'm adding one new folder called templates to run our index.html pages. Right click the mouse, click new folder, and the folder name is templates. And in this templates I'm adding the HTML page. Right click the mouse, click new file, and the file name is the index.html. And here we got our index.html page. Now let's add some HTML file code. I found doctype and doctype HTML. I'm closing the HTML tag. Inside the HTML I'm adding the header section. In the header section I'm adding the title. The title is title delete record. and after that I'm adding the body tag. Inside the body I'm adding center tag. The center tag I'm adding the headings h1, how to delete a particular record from MySQL database. Let's add the another history tag, Python, Django, web tutorials. Then after the headings I'm adding the horizontal line. Now in this center tags I'm adding a simple HTML table element table to display the data from the database table. Table contains the border is equals to -1. In the table we have, I'm declaring the table row. In the table rows I'm declaring the table headers. In our table we have 4 columns: ID, EMP name, employee name, email and salary. Let's add the 4 columns here, 4 headings: employee ID, table headers, employee name, email and the salary. And the next are the TD. The table data we are getting from the database table. So we require the connection string and some coding part to display the data into this table. So before adding the coding part, let's save this file first. Save all. After saving this index.html, now let's add one models.py page in the subfolder del-rec. Right click the mouse, click new file. The file name is models.py. And here we got our models.py page. Now in this models.py contains a simple class which contains only the public properties and the table name. So before adding the properties and table, first we require to add the necessary class from Django.dp import. I'm importing the models class. Then I'm creating a class. In this class I'm adding del emp rec is my class name. In this class I'm adding models.model colon. In this del emp rec class I'm defining the properties. So if you notice in our table, the ID column is the auto-generated column, so I don't require that one, the property name. I require the EMP name, email and salary. So first let's add the EMP name is equals to models dot char field max underscore length is equals to 100. And after that, email. So instead of adding this type, data type, I'm adding this one. And the salary is equals to, the last one is a salary only, no? Yes, a salary models dot integer field. After that, let's add our class name, table name also, class. And this class is a meta class. And this capital meta class. db underscore table is equals to, between double quotes I'm adding my class name, which is the AMP details. Let's copy that one and paste here between these double quotes. That's it. Let's save this file. Save all. Now we require the views page to display the records, and we need to import this class name in the views page also. So again, right click the subfolder, click new file. Let's give the file name is equals to views.py, enter, and here we got our views.py. First let's import the necessary classes here from Django.shortcuts import render class. The render class is used to render our templates on the browser. So that's the reason I have added the render class. The next we require the class from this models page. So from this model page contains in this del rect. So let's add the application name dot models import. Let's add the class name. The class name is a DLEMPREC. Copy that one and paste here. After importing the necessary classes, next step, first I want to display records from the database before deleting the record. So let's define a function called display data request colon result. Let's declare a variable. Result is a variable. I'm adding the class name, this class name del emperor dot objects dot all method. It's a objects all method. Then this function return render method. This render method takes two parameters. First one is a request, and the second parameter is you need to add a template name, which is index.html. That's it. First function, in this function I'm displaying the records. Let's save this file, save all. Now open urls.py. Let's add our URL pattern. In the URL patterns, first let's import the views page. Views. In this views page, if you notice, the URL patterns is a default path is admin, which I don't require, so I'm commenting with hash. Let's add our path between single quotes, comma, or views dot let's add our function name. This function renders our HTML pages. So I'm adding the views.displayData, the function name. That's it. Let's save this file also. Save all. Now the most important, we have to configure our database connection string. We have to install our app, the application name, and we need to configure the template also. For that, open settings.py, and settings.py, come to the bottom. And notice here in the install underscore apps, first we need to install our application name, which is a del rec. So del rec. After install our app, come to the bottom. Next step, notice in this template section there is a directories attribute. Here we have to join our templates with the base directory. So let's add os.path join method. This join method takes two parameters. First one is a base directory, and between single quotes I'm joining with the templates, this templates folder. So make sure give the exact same folder name, templates. Then come to the bottom in the databases section. Notice the default database engine type is a MySQL 3, but our database is MySQL, which is PHP MyAdmin. So let's add MySQL, and here the name, let's use the default line between single quotes. The name we have to add our database name, which is a sample DB. So let's add that one, sample DB. Next, user root, comma. The next attribute is a password. The password here I'm leaving blank because I don't have any password to log into my PHP MyAdmin database. If you have any password, please enter that password between these single quotes, comma. And the next attribute is the host, colon. And the host is the local host, comma. And we require the port number also for our SQL. Our port number of MySQL is a 3306. Let's add that one, the port number 3306, comma. And the final option is the options, 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 singles, options, colon, curly braces. Now between these curly braces and between single quotes, init underscore command colon between double quotes. I'm setting the SQL underscore mode. I'm setting the SQL mode is equals to between single quotes strict underscore trans underscore tables. That's it. We have configured our database and the templates. After that, we have installed the application name also in this settings.py. Let's save this settings.py page, save all, and then switch to the index.html. Now let's bind the data into this tr. So before that, let's between curly braces percentage I'm using for loop to fetch the records for a result in open the models. Let's add this class name. So the data we are getting from this class name, and after this tr, let's close this end for, close the for loop. Now in the td between double quotes, between curly braces, double curly braces, result dot, first one is the id, the column name, td curly braces, result dot, we need to add our column names here, emp name, td result dot email, td result dot salary. That's it. Let's save this file. Now before implementing the delete functionality, first we'll check the data table is displaying or not on the browser in this index.html page. So after saving all these files, now in the command prompt, let's run the server python manage.py. We have to add this manage.py, run server, enter. See how, oops, cannot open format. So this manage.py file is inside this application. We need to add cd del rec, enter. Now let's run the server. Python manage.py, run server, enter. And see here, when we run the server, we don't have any issues in our application. And below that, we got the web URL, the server, control plus mouse click. Oops, something went wrong. Let's come down, open views. See here, we have not added this result here. In the render, let's add the curly braces. I'm adding the dictionary. The key is the del emp rec, the class name, colon, and the values we are getting from this object result. Now let's save this file. After saving this file, I'm reloading the browser. And now we got all the records from the table, emp details table, in this index.html page. Now the next step, let's add a new column to this table which contains the delete links of a particular record. So I can switch to the index.html page. In the index.html page, I'm adding another td here. Inside this td, I'm adding href is equals to Let's close this href. Here in the href I am adding the delete label name for this href. Let's save this file, save all. We'll check the output, this delete column is added to this table or not. I'm reloading this browser again. So here we got all the delete links here. Now let's add a delete functionality when a user wants to delete any particular employee name. For example, wiki. When a user clicks the delete functionality, I want to delete this wiki details. So right now we don't have any functionality to delete this record, so it's not deleting. So let's write the coding part. Switch to the coding part, Visual Studio Code. Switch to the views page. In the views page we have to add one more function, and def del rec request. In this request I'm adding, now in this del rec function I'm deleting the record based on a particular selected ID. So we require one more parameter. I'm adding ID, then let's declare a variable, and delete emp employee is equals to, I'm adding this class name, copy this from the class name, dot objects dot get method, the get method ID is equals to ID. Let's delete that record, del employee dot delete method, delete method. So once we delete the record, I want to redirect to this index.html page only and display all the records. So just copy this part and paste here. Let's save this file, open file and save all. That's it. This is a very simple functionality to delete the record. Now we need to add the URL patterns. Open urls.py, comma, let's add the path, then single quotes, I'm adding the delete colon. We need to add the ID of the employee, so I'm declaring the type, integer type is ID. Let's close this tag, comma, use dot, I'm adding the function name del rec, copy this one and paste here. That's it. Let's save this file, save all. Friends, here it's showing some unexpected error here, and the views.py. See here the result, the indent. Now let's save this file. Now open index.html page. Now here in the href we need to add the path name, path delete, delete this path name, delete this capital here. And delete, add the forward slash, then delete. And we require the ID of the particular selected employee. So the ID is this one. Let's copy this one, paste here. That's it. We have done the complete coding part. Let's save this file, save all. We'll check the final output. I'm reloading the browser. So notice here the delete. Now let's delete the record 11 Christian, delete. And notice that the employee ID 11 has been deleted successfully from the table. Let's check in our database table also. So notice here the employee ID 11 has been deleted successfully from this table EMP details. When I delete a record, I'm not getting the confirmation alert message. So let's add that one also before deleting the record. For that, I'm using the JavaScript functionality on click. I'm using the inline JavaScript functionality. Return confirm method. I'm adding single quotes. Now in this confirm method between single quotes, I'm adding, are you sure you want to delete? I want to delete, question mark. That's it. Let's check the final output. Let's save this file first. Save all. I'm reloading the browser. Now let's check the final output. Let's delete the record 8 Manisha. Click delete. See, here we got an alert message. Are you sure you want to delete? If I click OK, see, the employee ID 8 Manisha has been deleted successfully. Let's open the database table in the EMP details. Manisha is here. Let's browse the table. And here we got a new output of this table EMP details. There is no employee ID 8, which is Manisha. And notice if I want to, suppose I want to delete this Peter, when I click cancel, it's not deleting. Let's delete this Peter also, click OK. The delete employee ID 4, the Peter record has been deleted. Let's check in our database table also. Let's browse this table. See, there is no more Peter in this table. That's it. We have implemented to delete a record using Django web tutorials in Python.